Hey there, it's Michael Devillano. You probably already know that because this is my profile. And I did something earlier in the week that I've always said no to, which is I posted a job posting on LinkedIn. And specifically, I posted it for social media marketing interns, just out of curiosity to see what I would get. And because I do want to bring in more local talent, as in this country, um, and I just wanted to see what was going to happen. It was really interesting to me. And I'll tell you what I found as a couple of things, and I just wanted to share my observations about this. One, there's some really smart, personable, uh, young, hungry kids that are in college right now, and college like the 4-year universities, and some really good schools right across. Some of them are more Orange County based, but and LA based, but then right across the country. I talked to kids at Amherst, University of Massachusetts Amherst. I talk to kids in Denver, and I say kids because these are like third and fourth year students. Um, so it was really interesting. A lot of them were like marketing focused programs they were in, and the idea of working in an internship to get practical experience. They're hungry, and kids were interested in two things. Like some of them were interested in learning how to, you know, work in marketing, but also even in business development and sales, which kind of surprised me a little bit. But I'll tell you one thing that really was kind of annoying to me, that, and it's absolutely nothing against the kids. It's like these kids are going to these 4-year schools, they're racking up debt for the most part. And I heard some really, really bizarre things. One was they're in a marketing program and they did case studies on, companies that were really large companies and how you would use social media marketing for those companies. In some cases, they went to actual businesses and did like a strategy or a case study for a business, and they never once touched the social platform that they were proposing or talking about. They did projects on Instagram and never once touched Instagram to implement an actual campaign. They never once touched the Facebook ad platform or the Google ad platform. It blew my absolute mind to hear this over and over. I had 75 applicants so far. I had to shut this off because there's just so many of them. And my counter's been just, jacked solid with talking to these kids. And it blows my mind that you could actually be like in a marketing program doing a case study, a theoretical case study about Amazon, but they never once learned about like the Amazon e-commerce platform, like drop shipping or anything like that. They never once learned about the publishing platform. They never once learned about how to create products or flip stuff on Amazon. But they're doing case studies on Amazon as a business as opposed to how to actually use the Amazon platform. And meanwhile, they're talking to me about a role that would essentially be them looking at a target audience, how to use those platforms to target the audience with, creating ads that get attention, whether it's video or static, and creating offers and productizing things that actually go to real audience and validating by seeing if they will buy or respond to it. And they're like jazz, like the kids are really interested in what I'm describing to them, and they're like consistently saying, yeah, it's ridiculous. They know it's ridiculous, but they're going to these 4-year schools for what? I can't figure it out. I know why they're going. It's because, well, first of all, if you go out there in the real world and you go to like any company and the minimum requirement is to have a 4-year degree, why? These kids are walking out without any practical knowledge. The ones that were ahead of the game that have already done internships were thrown into situations sometimes where if they're in a bigger company, they were literally like, they consistently said, I sat there and I was bored. Like there was nothing invested in them. The better ones went to smaller companies like mine, and they said they learned something. They were kind of left to their own devices. I also consistently asked the kids, which I thought was interesting, because I just want to know, like, do you work better under a lot of structure? Or are you better like in a situation like where you're given, here's the desired outcome, I give you some support, but you're responsible for turning into something. Time and again, I would say like probably like 8 times out of 10, which really made me happy, these kids were willing to work independent and preferred it. They want to be part of a team and part of something, but they were totally like hungry for the opportunity to take something and make it their own. So I'm really encouraged by how smart kids are, but that has nothing to do with what we're doing with them. And when I say we, like these schools should be embarrassed. Like they should give them their degree so they have that brand, so the HR departments don't, discriminate against them because they don't have that degree behind them. And they should give them all their damn money back. It's a joke. It kind of blows my mind how you could be in a marketing program and learn nothing of practicality. One of the reasons that I went to University of Waterloo, for example, is that it had a really good co-op program. And that experience, like I think, was echoed that these kids with internships that worked in actual businesses, they got the most out of that experience, even if it was like 2-3 months. Not even full time. Compare that to the time that they've invested and the money. Like they're paying for this. It's wacky. It kind of blows my mind. Now, the flip side is I'm really encouraged by what I see. I would take probably 94% of these kids in some capacity. There's obviously only so many that I can handle from like a paid internship. If you're looking for an intern, by the way, I'd be happy to introduce the majority of these kids. It doesn't even matter where you are. In some cases, like some of them want to be in an environment where they're with their peers and they're learning hands-on. But a lot of them are also really comfortable with the idea of like, hey, I go to a co-working space. We meet once a day or twice a day virtually. I can go off and do my work and come back. So, there's some really good kids out there that I think are just dying to learn probably what a lot of people that are in marketing and sales have to teach. They had really good ideas too. Like, I would kind of give them scenarios and they would give me feedback and we really just had a conversation. But I'm going to meet another guy right now and I'm really excited about that. So that's my second conversation with him. Some of them are local and some of them are all over, but they're all... Anyways, I think there's a lot to be positive about, but it blows my mind that we would like do this to such talented, smart people, Anyways, that's kind of my rant on this. Again, if you do think that you might want an intern where you're looking for talent, even if you've never thought about it before, maybe you're just the only guy that's working in your business, or maybe you haven't you're running around and maybe you're like me, like I hire people with specific skill sets for specific projects on demand, and that gets me to the point where I don't really have a team necessarily like in one office, but I don't know, I highly encourage people out there that are watching this to like go through the same process. I think it cost me $110 or $120 to get 75 really good, interesting kids from all kinds of backgrounds. It was really interesting. Anyways, so I wanted to share that. I'm going to go off and meet Sebastian, and maybe I'll share some more ideas of what comes out of that second discussion. My first discussion with him was great, and there's a whole bunch more of these guys. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great Friday. I do have a project that I've been working on this week that I kind of alluded to in another post. So I will announce that on Monday, and hopefully people like that and tune in and maybe even can contribute to it. Have an amazing weekend. I will talk to you soon.